You're listening to the Public Health Entrepreneurs Podcast with your host, Dr. Charlotte Huntley. Greetings, everyone, and thank you for joining me on this episode. On this podcast, we explore all topics that are at this intersection of public health and entrepreneurship. So if you are a public health professional finding your way on this entrepreneurial journey, then this is definitely the podcast for you. My name is Dr. Charlotte Huntley, and I'm thrilled that you've decided to join me on this episode. I'm a public health entrepreneur with over 25 years of experience in healthcare and in public health, and I've supported many entrepreneurs along the way. On this topic, we're going to answer a question. I've often been asked this question. Someone submitted it to us not too long ago, or raised this question, I should say. And the question is, do I need a CRM? I thought that's a great question. So we're going to talk about it on this episode. First, I'd like to make sure that we all understand what a CRM is. And if you've been around for a while, you may have seen this, acronym or have heard this and not really quite sure. But CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. So it's a system that you use in your business to help you manage interactions with your clients or organize customer information and maybe even prospects, which are people that you're reaching out to, but they have not become an actual client of yours. So a customer relationship management tool, or CRM, is a common term or phrase that we refer to with regards to our business and being able to organize the information about our clients and customers and prospects. Okay. So the short answer to this question is yes, you do need one, but I do recommend that you keep it simple. So it doesn't need to be something really complex or more complicated than your business model needs. So depending on the business model that you follow, that you have, that will dictate the type or the level of complexity or the options that, come along with the CRM that you decide to use. For example, if let's say you have whatever the size, your business team is kind of not what I'm referring to, but more of the client load. So let's say that you have 4 or 5 clients in your business and that puts you at capacity, meaning you couldn't handle more than 4 or 5 clients at any given time without putting them on a waiting list or having to build more team members to be able to support you. So the way your business is right now, if I handed you 4 or 5 clients and you had none, you would be maxed out. That's all you'd be able to handle. So if that's the case, then the best CRM for you to use for management of your client information and the list of prospects that you might be, wanting to, people that you want to reach out to that aren't doing business with you right now, but you may want to sign them up as a client, once you offboard some of the current clients. So if that's where you are, where 4 or 5 clients are pretty much your maximum load, then the CRM that you would need is going to be something very simple, like a spreadsheet. You could manage your client's information on something as simple as a spreadsheet. You could have one tab that has all of your current clients, the 4 or 5 that you're actively working with, their business information, whatever it is you decide is important to keep handy, their contact information, the primary contact at that organization. If your client is a business, then another tab could be prospects. Maybe you have a list of a dozen or so people that you've been in touch with that aren't ready to sign up to work with you right now, but maybe in the next, 30 to 60 days, for example. So you could organize that kind of information at that level pretty easily on a spreadsheet. Now there are a lot of other tools, like I said, with bells and whistles and lots of functionality, but to really essentially be able to keep up with that client information and organize it in a way that you can keep up with what's going on and what you need to do next and who you talk to last and those kind of things, you could do that pretty easily on a spreadsheet. Now, on the other hand, if you're selling, let's say, a low-priced on-demand online course, or a similar type of product where the price point is relatively low and you really need a lot of customers. So you might need 40 or 50 clients or even more. Then a more advanced CRM may be a better option for you. Something with a little bit more functionality can help you keep up with all the list of, that's a lot of clients to have at one time. But if you have something like an online course and it's a lower price point and there are a lot of clients that are taking that course, you want to have a different type of system. So you may not be able to really keep up with it on a spreadsheet, but maybe you have something a little bit more with a few more features, a little bit more advanced, where you can keep up with your current clients and have their contact and information and see, information about how they're using or actively involved in the course. And then maybe you have it has a way of keeping those prospects, the people that maybe they've shown some interest in your course, but they haven't signed up for the course yet. And maybe you've met with them and answered questions, but they haven't become a customer yet. So if you've got, a lot of clients or potential clients, then you're going to want something with a few more features to help you keep organized and keep up with, that type of volume. So those are just two of the things to keep in mind as you're thinking about a CRM. But again, if you're talking about just getting started or a few clients, or maybe you've been in business for a long time, but you still are you're maxed out at around 4 or 5 clients, which is perfectly fine. It's your business model, right? So you don't need something really complicated. So I don't recommend going into a really complicated CRM if you're talking about, a handful of people to keep up with. So some good examples beyond a spreadsheet, if you decide to go that route, is I will mention your email marketing platform. So if you use a software to send out emails to your customers or clients or people on your list, and sometimes you can have features there that it can serve as a CRM. So for example, if you're regularly receiving emails from us whenever we have a new podcast episode that goes out, then you're part of our email marketing platform, and we could use that as a CRM. We have in the past. We don't currently, but we have in the past. So that means that so you get the email that lets you know the new episodes have been released, but maybe we also send you an email every now and then that says, remind you about our mastermind program. Or there are sometimes, I haven't done it in a while, but because you've shown interest, you're subscribed to our podcast updates, then sometimes if I'm offering a special workshop, I may only send that out to the people that are on our email list and give you an opportunity to participate. I've done that early in the summer. I offered a program that I didn't advertise anywhere else, but only to the people that were on our email list. So that is an example of how we use it as a CRM, because these are people that are interested in our podcast. So we think they may be interested in this workshop that we are offering. So that's one example of how you could use what you could use beyond a spreadsheet. And I'll give you another example because I talked about this in just the previous episode 39. So if you haven't listened to that one, you can go back just one episode. The title is Best Project Management Tool. So you can use your project management tool as a CRM. I know that Asana has a way that you can do that really easily. I know that ClickUp has a way that you can do that because one of my colleagues who uses ClickUp shared that with me a couple of years ago as a template. And I know that we've explored some uses in Asana for that as well. So depending on what project management tool you're using, you may also be able to use it as a CRM. Again, depending on your needs. There are so many other options, but I thought I would mention at least those two because it's likely that you're already using an email marketing platform or you're already using the project management tool. Side note here, I'm not suggesting you run out and get an email marketing platform and start doing that, because if you are that example where, you have 4 or 5 clients, you're keeping a very low volume, you don't really need fancy tools like that. But we do have a higher volume with podcast listeners. So we do want to be able to keep in touch with the community of people who like listening to this podcast. And that's a little bit higher volume for us in this example. But for our consulting side of our business, then we really don't need a tool like that. So again, filter this through where you are, what your business needs, not necessarily what someone else is doing, or just because I gave the example is not suggesting that you get it, but these are just things for you to think about. If you're already using this for your email marketing, then you could use it for a CRM as well. Okay. All right. This is great. I love sharing these little tidbits with you on these episodes. Now, I want to remind you that we have an awesome mastermind group program, and we do deep dives on these types of conversations. I know that I get to know the members in our mastermind group, and I can customize my response to them based on exactly their business model because I've gotten to know them really, really well. And we talk about these types of topics very often as they come up. Everyone's in a different place and space. But our mastermind group program is best suited for established public health entrepreneurs. And we work together online. And we also gather together in person for a 2-day retreat. We do this twice a year. We've had entrepreneurs travel from all over the U.S. and even outside of the U.S. to meet with us in person and to participate in these retreats. Now, enrollment for our mastermind program is only open twice a year. in June and December. And we only invite people who have submitted an application. So if you'd like to know more about our mastermind group program, just visit the website, which is publichealthentrepreneurs.com, and you're able to submit your application there. You'll find the links to that also in the description for this episode. Now, I'd like you to help us spread the word about this podcast. So the easiest way is to simply share our website, publichealthentrepreneurs.com. Share it with a friend, or you can share it on social media. We really appreciate you helping us spread the word about this podcast. All right, everyone. Until next time, have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you for listening. Visit publichealthentrepreneurs.com to learn more.